Okay, what we're doing is dropping the tie rod in. Then we're going to drop the two bolts off the strut. That's going to release the axle. We can pull this way and pull the axle that way to bring the axle out instead of dropping the ball joint. Because once you mess with that ball joint, you might as well replace a ball joint. I'd rather replace a tie rod in instead of a ball joint. What you do is you mark here and here to keep it in line, where you don't have to take it back and have the front end lined up. What you do is mark it up here and down here, and then when you go back together, all you gotta do is line your marks up, and you ain't gonna worry about having your front end relined up. No, pause. Come on out. Dang it, boy.
You don't want to come out of there, do you?
See where I laid the marks at right there?
Right. So you
and
can
down
put them
here,
back on there, yeah.
So when I take this off, and I use this tie rod tool to get the tie rod off, I can take it off like that. And so now I can go ahead and finish taking the nuts and bolts off, and then I'll be able to spin this around, pull this out, and get the axle out of the hub. Once I get the axle out of the hub, then I can grab it here and use a pry bar and go up underneath it to pull the axle out of the transmission. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Outside the strut tower and off the knuckle.
Because Right Way is a pretty good sized company, ain't they? They should have. Oh, you recording that?
As you see, I'm taking the bolts off the bottom end of the strut to the knuckle, where we can get the knuckle out to get the axle out. Anybody can do this, and if you're afraid to do it, then go back on the video and you can watch how to do it, and anybody can do it. It just takes a little time. And this is the way I do my bolts instead of hitting them with a hammer, but sometimes you have to get them out. It's a good thing to have ratchet wrenches, man. It's a lifesaver. The best invention since the ratchet come out with. Because you can get in there with these ratchet wrenches quicker and better than you can with regular wrenches, and it's faster. Now if I had a rack, I'd have been 30 minutes and I'd have had this transmission out and over with. But I don't, so I do it the old-fashioned way.
That's the way they used to do it before those came in.
Yep. That's all you gotta do. And when you're getting these bolts off, make sure you use a 6-point socket or a 6-point wrench to break them loose, because if you use a 9-point socket, you'll wind up stripping the bolt. Always use a 6-point socket or a wrench.
There we go.
All right, what you do is you slide your knuckle down like this and slide it over, and then take your hands. I had to play with it a few minutes to get it off. And it'll come out. So you spin this knuckle back around. Watch your little sensor and you don't break your sensor. So now I'm ready to pull it out. So I can slide this over and I can pull it on out there. What I'm doing is dropping the starter to get the starter out of the way while I'm under here.
Video's gonna be kind of dark because this is just a phone recording. Don't have the best light. Maybe you can see what he's doing.
Yeah, 15 millimeter.
Was that part of it?
Okay. Motor failed.
That's what I was telling you. You need a 12. Will this work?
Hand me a 10mm.
You want the wrench?
Yeah.
You know, I just paid this gorilla some attention. You have to take the manifold away to get the plugs out of here. The intake.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking the top bolts out of the transmission. On this, they 19mm. A lot of cars now are metric. Not like it used to be. It used to be all standard. Now it's all went to metric. So what I'm doing is taking the top bolts out of the transmission. So when I get the axle off the passenger side, and I do the linkage, then it'll be ready to drop.
We're back working on the Volkswagen. We had to start a new video. Our video ended on the last one abruptly, so we're starting again where we stopped off from the other one.
Okay, we got all the bolts out. Got the driver's side axle. We're gonna leave it in there so when we drop the transmission, it'll just stay in the transmission. And once we get it out, then we'll take the axle off. A lot easier that way. Some cars you can do that way. Some cars you can't. If I had a rack, it was on the rack, then I can get on there with a pry bar and just pop it out in about 2 seconds. But since I'm doing it on the ground, it makes it a little bit harder to do. So I'm just gonna leave it in there and then take it out once I get the transmission. But the passenger side axle has to come out before I drop the transmission. I need the spreader. It's down there on the other side on the ground. The spreader.
The spreader is down there. Right now. The tuning forks. Yep, the tuning forks.
See, this is the one we needed the other day. And
We're gonna have to get us a thing in
a shop that could.
Yeah. The little shop that could.
Well, folks, that's Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Junior gets it done.
I'd hate to see Daddy then. That's Junior.
Yeah. When they used to call that, I used to love to watch Baby Huey, the little cartoon character. Every day was Baby Huey. Yep.
Oh man.
So that rear mount is on the thing holding that in there.
Yep.
Okay, I see it now.
You're doing the same thing on this side, just on a different side, right? As the other side.
Yep. Same way as we did on the driver's side. If you just wiggle it like this, they'll come out pretty easy. Sometimes you have to get rougher with it.